Welcome, children. Today's session we will continue learning Standard 10th English All the World's a Stage, the poem by William Shakespeare. Let's go through the words, word meanings, players, actors, puking, throwing up, vomiting, satchel, school bag, woeful ballad, sad poem or song, part, poetical short form of leopard. Cannon's mouth, facing great danger to life, with good cabin lined, with excess fat from careless eating habits, saws, sayings, youthful hose, close fitting covering for legs, shank, legs, knee to ankle. Treble, here, 3 times weaker than, second childishness, a return to the helpless, ignorant state of a child, oblivion, the state of being unaware or unconscious of surroundings and happenings, sans without. Children, let's know about the poet first. William Shakespeare, 1564-1616, was an English poet, playwright, and actor, widely regarded as the greatest writer in the English language and the world's prominent dramatist. He was born in Stratford-upon-Avon in England, so he is known as the Bard of Avon. His famous works include Merchants of Venice, Julius Caesar, Twelfth Night, along with many others. This poem is taken from his play As You Like It. Here, he compares the world to a stage where the drama of human life is enacted. Let's read the poem first. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first, the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms, then the whining schoolboy, with a satchel and shining morning face creeping like snail. Let's learn about the paraphrase of these 8 lines. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. Poet William Shakespeare, in his poem All the World's a Stage, compares the entire world to a stage, whereas all human beings, men and women, have been referred to as actors who are enacting or performing their roles, their parts. According to him, births and deaths are pre-decided. So whichever role comes on his way, a human being or a man takes that different role during his lifetime. Here, the 7 stages of his life are termed as 7 acts. You know it very well, children. When you watch a performance, when you watch a play, there are different acts. Into each act, there are different scenes. Same way, poet William Shakespeare has given 7 different acts in the life of a human being. These 7 acts are nothing but 7 stages of a man's life. The first stage is that of infancy, where the baby boy or baby is crying and vomiting in the arms of a nurse. The second stage is that of a schoolboy, complaining all the time, whining all the time, carrying his school bag and going reluctantly, unwillingly to school. Let's read the next part of the poem. And shining morning face, creeping like snail, unwillingly to school. And then the lover, sighing like furnace, with a woeful ballad, made to his mistress's eyebrow. Then a soldier, full of strange oaths and bearded like the bard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation. We have learnt about the first stage, which is of infancy. Then the child grows, he starts going to school, but you will always see him crying, whining, complaining because he doesn't want to go to school. Even if he is going reluctantly, unwillingly to school. Upon growing up, He takes on the role of a lover who writes love songs praising his beloved. Then the fourth stage shows him as a soldier. Here he is willing to do anything to prove his manliness. He even grows a beard to display his manliness. He tries to build a reputation for himself. However, it is short-lived. He is always willing to take risk even his life in this process. He is full of jealousy and aggressive enough to pick up a fight to defend his honor. This honor, this reputation is a bubble reputation which can be removed at any time, which has no importance at that point of time. Still, he will try to protect, to defend himself, defend his honor and his bubble reputation. Let's read the next lines. Even in the cannon's mouth, and then the justice, in fair round belly, with good capon lined, with eyes severe, and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances. And so he plays his part. The sixth age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon, with spectacles on nose and pouch on side, his youthful hose well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shank and his big manly voice. Let's learn about the paraphrase of these lines. Once the stage of a teenage is over, then he takes on the role of a middle-aged man. His appearance changes as he has a pot belly, serious eyes, and a formal cut beard. He becomes mature, having gained experience in his life. Then he is now full of wisdom and has lots of experiences to share. In the sixth stage, he is an old man who is forgetful and well past the prime of his life. He needs spectacles due to his weak eyesight, and his skin hangs loosely from his body. He wears the trousers, pantaloons means trousers, which had saved from his youth and which now don't fit since his legs are become thin. His manly voice has been reduced to the shrill voice of a child. In short, when you go through these lines, children, you understand now being adult, and after that, as he becomes middle-aged man, slowly he starts moving towards the old age. Once he is into that age, his body starts showing his age. Let's read the remaining part of the poem. Turning again toward childish treble, pipes and whistles in his sound. Last scene of all, that ends the strange eventful history, is second childishness and mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything. We have seen, children, that his voice has been reduced to a very, very low voice of a child. Now every time he speaks, it seems that he is whistling because he has lost some of his teeth. Finally, he enters into the last stage of his life. This is the last scene of all. Here, he has become very, very old. Now he is like a child. He is into his second childishness. He has lost his memory. He has lost his teeth. He is without his memory. He is without his teeth, without eyesight, and even without taste and without everything. Children, we do observe such old people, rather elderly people in our surroundings. We see them, the youth, their adulthood, they are so strong in their life, but as they start moving towards the second inning of their life, definitely they become too weak. Physically they are too weak. Sometimes even because of their oldness, even because of their old age, they become unaware, unconscious of their surroundings. Sometimes even they don't understand what is happening in their surroundings. They are into their own world. We need to understand, children, this is the last stage of man's life. Rather, this is the last role, last act which a man has to perform towards the end of his life. Children, we have learned the poem, All the World's a Stage. We will continue learning figures of speech and critical appreciation of the poem in the second part of the session. Till then, thank you.